Carrier and Alpine Air.
Hi, I'm Jeff Austinson.
And I'm
And we are back at it for a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, 15th day of December 2023. I am Dan Kuntz, your host. If you watch this show on a regular basis, you know what we give you Fridays. We give you a five-star show. Five-star show. The only day of the week we give you a five-star show or double your television viewing pleasure back. I'm Dan Kuntz. It's a nice morning. It's not particularly cloudy or foggy or misty. The cameras are going to be pretty nice to look at this morning, 36 degrees. We're not going to get a lot warmer than what we are right now. If you haven't been outside yet, it does feel kind of mild, especially for the middle of December. All in all, the weather is still going to be quiet. We're under the influence of a ridge of high pressure. Going to build up, going to hang around right through the weekend. Things are going to change a little bit on Monday, but no significant weather impact really next week, except very mild temperatures. They predicted an El Nino year, a strong El Nino year, first one we've had in a while, which means warmer than normal temperatures and drier than normal conditions as far as precipitation. It looks like it's panning out. Details weather-wise coming up, plus the news. All eyes at the Douglas County Courthouse in Waterville for the sentencing yesterday. Our cameras roll there. We'll have that story for you. A lot of sports. Fridays and Mondays, heavy duty on the sports stuff. Kraken, by the way, playing pretty good hockey all of a sudden. We like that. And in the back half of the program, we want to air the interview I did with Beth Stipe, the executive director of the Community Foundation in North Central Washington, because the Give NCW campaign is underway for you to donate to all the 81 nonprofits that are involved or any particular one. It's one-stop shopping for your charitable holiday giving. Beth Stipe in the back half of the program is 2 minutes after the hour. I think we got some cameras to look at today. It's a rare treat. Considering what we've had yesterday, there's our Wenatchee Heights camera. We're still a ways, of course, from sunrise. This morning, 7:41 is when the sun will rise. The sun will set on the west side of the valley at 4:10. 8 hours and 29 minutes of daylight. Now tomorrow, the sun goes down at 4:11. 1 minute later, but the sun comes up at 7:42. 1 minute later. So we're still going to have 8 hours and 29 minutes of daylight on Saturday as well. We hit 38 yesterday, and that's about what we're going to get to today. Camera number 2, downtown Wenatchee from the roof of the Cascadian, looking directly to the north. And yesterday at this time, those roadways were wet. It was some light rain that wasn't really in the forecast. Now we're high and dry from the roof of the Cascadian, a camera that comes in very handy when we have low clouds and fog, which is not the case today. Camera 3, up to McNeil Canyon we go. That's still one of my favorite cameras. That's the very tip top of a tower high above McNeil Canyon, so high we can actually see Lake Chelan over the top of the ridge. Pretty spectacular stuff there. Good morning to our friends at McNeil Canyon. They don't have any snow up there either, come to think of it. Finally, our fourth camera we wrap things up with. That is the lower heights camera. Remember, we have two cameras up on Wenatchee Heights, one at the very tip, at the very rim, the one that we started out with, and then there's that one which is slightly lower in elevation, about 600 feet farther to the east than the other camera. So basically you're looking at Fred Meyer to your right, the interchange, the roundabout, a little piece of the Wenatchee Valley Mall. So a little love to East Wenatchee this morning from our Heights East camera. From the National Weather Service, that way if you don't like the weather, you can blame the government. Not a lot to talk about. Going to see some sunshine today. That'll be nice. Get a little vitamin D. High today of 38, and we're almost there right now. We're at 36 in the Wenatchee Valley, so very little temperature variation. Patchy fog reforms tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of about 30. Freezing fog and clouds return on Saturday, and it's going to be about the same, around 37, 38 for the afternoon high, but no sunshine. Saturday night, cloudy, 29 for the overnight low. Sunday, go back to a few sun breaks, high just a little bit above normal, about 36 degrees. Sunday night, mostly cloudy, and an overnight low of about 29. Now, Monday is when things get a little unsettled as the ridge of high pressure begins to move out of the area on Monday. It gives us an increasing chance of rain with some snow in the upper elevations. The snow level most of next week is going to be above 3,000 feet, And even then, not a lot of precipitation is in the forecast, although we have a good chance of precipitation on Tuesday here in the valley. It's going to be rain. This is going to be way too mild for snow on Tuesday. And again, we talked about this yesterday. White Christmas for the valley? No. Upper elevations, yes. Maybe like in Leavenworth and Lake Wenatchee Plain and in the mountains, you'll have some snow on the ground, we think, for Christmas Day, but not here in the Wenatchee Valley. Going to take a break and then we'll have the news for you, and it's right around the corner. You're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. We'll be right back.
At Confluence Health, our mission is clear: to provide exceptional care for our community. We believe in healthcare that's personal and local because we're just like you, members of this great community.
We are Confluence.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
We are Confluence.
If you love good food and drink, you don't have to look all over for the food truck anymore. You can go directly to Mama Tina's new location at Riverside 9 Apartments. Top-rated pizza, sandwiches, and calzones in a full bar make Mama Tina's your new destination restaurant.
Now, am I looking into this camera? Or am I looking, where am I looking?
We're gonna have you just look at
The holiday season is coming, and Santa's making his 15-second commercial for NCW Life Channel. Are you? Ho, 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 ho.
The Clearwater Saloon and Casino has the best Vegas-style games in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy yourself and discover the nightly action. Win big and meet new friends at the Clearwater Saloon and Casino.
Nice morning, a few clouds, but pretty good. It's 36 degrees, not much warmer for the afternoon high, only about 38 with a few sun breaks. Sun will be taking the weekend off, back to the clouds and the fog, and rain in the valley and snow in the mountains next week, but temperatures will remain well above normal as we head into Christmas. It's 8 minutes after the hour, and a sentence that could keep him in prison for 53 years. Well, the rest of his life probably. Dalton Scott Potter sentenced to 53 years yesterday for the murder of his former girlfriend, Alyssa Longwell. Potter shot Longwell to death last January while their car was stopped on Badger Mountain Road. And then Potter opened fire on a father and daughter who witnessed the crime. A jury in Douglas County convicted him in October of first-degree murder, first-degree assault, and related felonies. Potter is 28 years old, did not participate in his own defense. And yesterday, Judge Robert Nodell excused him from the room for part of his sentencing after Potter claimed he was innocent and his rights were being violated. The 53-year sentence was recommended by Douglas County prosecutor Gordon Edgar, while Potter's attorneys said an apparent undiagnosed mental illness should have allowed him to serve only 37 years.
In my opinion, any decent defense attorney that ever could have had this case could have taken no more than 2 days to know that the circumstantial evidence against Mr. Potter was overwhelming, that the defense that he wanted to put forward of I wasn't there and let's just attack their case was never going to work, and that if there was a defense here, it was the affirmative defense of diminished capacity. And I think it would be foolish to think that it began the minute that he killed Alyssa Longwell.
There's nothing that says that Mr. Potter didn't know what he was doing. That maybe his mental health issues lowered the bar, if you will, for him to get to where he was murdering someone. But he has a violent history, maybe not towards his own family, but to those who he dated, to those who he had relationships with outside outside of his own family. And so he has this history, Your Honor, and it's been through the system. So he has this history of violence towards women in his life. And now later on, it's a murder. Nobody saw it coming, but that's who he is and that's what his history is.
He had no sympathy for my daughter. He deserves what the maximum is that he can get. He shot her not once, not twice, he shot her 7 times. He made sure she was dead. And I would like to say more, but I don't think I can.
I can say this, the jury absolutely, in my mind, made the right decision. There's no shred of doubt in my mind. I saw it with my own eyes, and I'll remember it for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I don't have any involvement in it, and I don't want any part in this.
Sir.
And I am, sending my condolences to the family and her loved ones. I think that's all I have to say for now. I will be taking you guys back to court at a later time because I have been misrepresented by this individual here, and my rights have been violated.
After a couple of years of 2 competing Oktoberfest celebrations here in the Wenatchee Valley, we may be back down to just 1 now. Project Bayern, that's the nonprofit that used to stage the Leavenworth Oktoberfest in Leavenworth, but they broke away after a dispute with the city, and the Chamber of Commerce said it will postpone the 2024 festival that was planned for the Town Toyota Center in Wenatchee. The organization has held its competing Oktoberfest at the Town Toyota Center since 2022. That's when the Leavenworth Chamber began staging its own festival in Leavenworth. Organizers say the event, which would have marked the 25th anniversary of the Project Bayern Festival, is the victim of rising costs. No rescheduled date has been announced. The City of Leavenworth and the Washington State Department of Ecology have reached an agreement after a 10-year dispute involving water rights. Ecology and the city have been working with the Icicle Creek Basin. That's a forum of local, state, and federal agencies as a non-litigation alternative for the last 10 years. Together, they work to, and I'm quoting now, find water supply and water-saving solutions in the Icicle Creek Basin and as an avenue for settling an appeal previously filed by the city, end quote. The city said that the appeal relates to a dispute over 721 acre-feet per year of available domestic water associated with the city's water supply. Mayor Carl Floria says the settlement is a significant milestone for the city's water rights and that the parties, and I'm quoting again now, fostered a spirit of cooperation and mutual respect during the process. Well, it's budget time for the state legislature, and behavioral health, homelessness, and the fentanyl crisis are the top priorities of Governor Jay Inslee's supplemental budget. Ahead of the 60-day legislative session, which begins on January 8th, the governor released his budget proposals, which serve as a midway update to the state's 2023-2025 biannual budget. The $70 billion budget highlights include an additional $464 million to meet the demands of the state's behavioral health needs, and an additional $64 million to combat the fentanyl epidemic through efforts like treatment, access, and recovery support. Additionally, the budget proposes $140 million to help with housing issues like encampments and preventing eviction and housing affordability. During a news conference on Wednesday, the governor explained how he would characterize those proposals.
Well, first off, it's generally following the prioritization of the state of Washington, which was right to begin with. And if you're right to begin with, you don't change it. But we need more of it. We need more housing encampments removed and people getting housing. We need more young people getting mental health treatment. We need more fentanyl recovery systems to get people off of drugs. We need more officers on the street, and this is providing all of those things. So I would characterize this budget as a continuation of the direction with an increased scope.
Whole milk and 2% milk, both flavored and unflavored, may be coming back to a school cafeteria near you. On Wednesday, the U.S. House of Representatives passed the Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act The vote was 330 to 99. The bipartisan bill, introduced by Congresswoman Kim Schreier and Congressman Glenn Thompson of Pennsylvania. The Healthy, Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010 changed the nutritional standards for the National School Lunch Program, and it prohibited whole milk in school lunches. For reasons I don't know, the bill will head to the Senate next. And finally, it is the final push for the NCW Community Toy Drive presented by Les Schwab. 2 more collection events this weekend at Hooked on Toys. It'll be set up, the collection right in front of the Hooked on Toys entryway today at 4 o'clock, and then starting tomorrow, Saturday at 10 in the morning, our very own Eric Grandstrom will be manning the table this afternoon. So stop by, say hi to Eric, and make a donation of a new unwrapped gift or a gift card or whatever. So Eric will be there from 4 to about 6:30, and you can also go to the website. Just go to Google and type in NCW Community Toy Drive. It'll all be there, the Facebook page, the website, all that cool stuff, and we're proud to be a part of it here at the NCW Life Channel. That's the news at 16 minutes after the hour. The news will come your way at 5, 6, and 10 on television, 5, 6, and 10 on TV. If you prefer to consume your news via the World Wide Web, well, by golly, we'll have it on the World Wide Web. Our newscast will be on our app, on our homepage, our Facebook page, and on our YouTube page right around 5 o'clock. And if there's something out there that you think warrants our attention so we can tell the rest of the valley about it, let us know. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Sports, and a lot of it is next. You're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, and in touch. Local cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speed makes life better. If you need fast, reliable internet, or maybe an upgrade, or you just have questions, connect with us by visiting localtel.com or call 509-888-8888 today.
This is the time of year we celebrate family, traditions, and great food. At Abby's, our legendary pizzas are so giant that they feed up to 6 happy family members. When you need a break from cooking, think Abby's, our place or your place. Our family is here for your family. What makes Abby's triple topper so great?
Pepperoni, Canadian bacon, ground beef.
With these premium toppings piled to the edge, it's a whole lot of pizza on sale for a very special price. And when you give the gift of Abby's, we'll give you a present too.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
18 minutes after the hour in sports, after losing 8 in a row, the Kraken have now won 2 in a row. Rather impressive, as a matter of fact, last night. They blew out Chicago 7-1. Second straight win for the team that has struggled in one-goal games so far this season. Not the case last night. Kailer Yamamoto started the scoring right out of the box.
It comes out to center. Yamamoto, 2 points on Tuesday with a shot. He scores! Kailer Yamamoto! 16:53 left in period 1. The Kraken off and running. The backhand deferral. Larson, now Dunn fumbles the puck, gets it back. Vince Dunn circling the track with it. Up top, Larson, now Dunn, a one-timer. They score! Pierre-Edouard Bellemare in the right place at the right time. He adds goals in back-to-back games. 2-0 Seattle. She'll get it out to center ice. Shore recaptures the puck for Seattle. And a restart. 3 minutes gone in the second period. A steal. Beauvillier. Radish. He scores! Taylor Radish. And Louis Crevier denied by Bjorkstrand. A sweep check by Crevier on Bjorkstrand. Out in front. It scores! It goes off Jason Dickinson. Oliver Bjorkstrand will get the goal. Seattle recaptures a 2-goal lead. Here's Cartier in front. We go to the far side, look around off a stick. Borgen. They score! A tip out in front. Will Borgen from downtown. 5:17 left in the second period. Ty Cartier makes it 4-1. Cross ice, Bjorkstrand through center, clean entry. The Maestro shadowed by Tyler Johnson. Gord out in front, they score! That's hockey, baby! What a play! Eli Tolvanen, brilliant finish, set up by Yanni Gord, 5-1. Here comes McCann, he throws on the brakes. Riker Evans, this way for Oliver Bjorkstrand. Evans, little backhand deferral. McCann, here it comes. He scores! Jared McCann with a bomb. 6 on the board. Tanev, Dumoulin. We'll play it deeper now for Devon Shore, wedged by Philip Roos. Belmar scores! There's a goal for Pierre-Edouard Belmar. And the Kraken, to a man, do it again. That is their DNA. That is Kraken hockey, baby. Tonight, a 7-1 win over Chicago.
Yeah, after you win 7-1, as you might imagine, the post-game locker room was a pretty happy place.
Defending well, and like I said, when they defend well, obviously we win pucks and we can go north, so it all starts in the defensive zone and we can build off of that.
Things happen quick, especially in this league, and you just got to move your feet and move the puck, and I think I found that, and our team's found success doing that for sure.
No, there's been a lot of nights where Joey's provided winning goaltending. We weren't able to provide that next goal or that first goal for him. We've been able to do that the last couple of nights, and he's done his job. A lot of guys were involved, but our back end was involved. Did some good work on the offensive blue line, and that's through the entire group of 6.
Kraken back on home ice tomorrow, taking on the LA Kings, and you can watch that on Root Sports Northwest. They'll drop the puck at 7 o'clock. Seahawks looking to snap their 4-game losing streak Monday Night Football. The defending NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles coming to town. The big question, of course, Geno Smith. Is he going to be back in the lineup after missing last week? Coach Pete Carroll says maybe.
Geno's went through the walkthrough today. He's going to practice today. He had a good lift this morning, so we'll see how each day goes. We'll go one day at a time and figure that out. But I know it's a big concern to everybody. But he feels really good, and he threw the heck out of the ball in the morning session. So we'll see what happens today with the really hope that he's ready to go. And if not, Drew's going to be there. We'll mix reps to make sure that everybody's prepared. But that's a good sign for us.
Yeah, the Seahawks have lost 4 in a row. The Eagles have lost 2 in a row. Coach Pete Carroll says this is a playoff game.
There is so much at stake from this point forward. There's so much with 5 other teams that are vying for this spot. It's a run to the finish and see who wins the race, and it's exciting, and we got to make the most of it and be tuned into it. And everybody's is well aware. We haven't missed that point from the other night, so everybody knows what's going on, and we got to put together a great week to prepare and make sure that we get this done. It's going to be a great challenge. This is a fine football team, and with a winning mentality and all that. But that's the kind of challenges we got to take on to get there. So. It hasn't changed much. It's been kind of like this for a while, and so I'm not concerned about our ability to take up the challenge and do the things we need to do to get it done. We just got to come out with a W.
Linebacker Bobby Wagner says the defense is trying to work on not giving up big plays, and Bobby Wagner also says one game at a time.
I don't think we could think like that, in my honest opinion. I think we need to make sure we win and do what we need to do to win. And everything else will take care of itself. The moment we start thinking about playoffs and this and that and all this other stuff, you miss what's right in front of you. So I don't think that's my message to the guys, or I don't think that's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it as we have a good team. Coming in here, we have got to do better, and we need to win, and that's the focus, and everything else will take care of itself.
Seahawks and the Eagles, Lumen Field, Monday Night Football, 5:15 on the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network and the American Broadcasting Company. So they played hockey last night in Climate Pledge Arena. Tonight is basketball, and then hockey again, so they've been busy there. Big game tonight. Number 10 Gonzaga, number 5 UConn. Of course, UConn is the defending national champion. That's tonight at 7 o'clock on ESPN2. The Cougars will host Santa Clara, tomorrow at 11 o'clock on the Pac-12 Network, and the Battle of Seattle back at Climate Pledge Sunday. So when Washington faces Seattle University at 5 o'clock on ESPN+. So hockey and then basketball, then hockey, then basketball on 4 straight games at Climate Pledge Arena. The women's weekend schedule begins today in Berkeley. The Screaming Eagles will be taking on Cal at 11:30, and the Huskies will host St. Mary's tomorrow at 1. The Wazoo women will host Houston Sunday at 2, and number 21 Gonzaga will host South Dakota State on ESPN+. High school, Eastmont dropped a road game in Yakima last night. The Davis Pirates scored 36 points in the first quarter and cruised from there. They won 83-49. In other action, Quincy beat Ephrata in the Battle of the Basin. Tenasket topped Okanagan just by a point. Waterville Mansfield took care of Pateras. Riverside Christian boys handled Cascade Christian, and Soap Lake swamped Wilson Creek. Les Schwab Prep girls basketball scoreboard from last night. Davis beating Eastmont, no problems there. Ephrata clipped Quincy. Tenasket downed Okanagan. Cascade Christian got by Riverside Christian. Soap Lake was 22 better than Wilson Creek, and Waterville Mansfield girls beat Pateras. The schedule starts tonight at 5:30 with Wenatchee hosting Moses Lake. Ephrata visits Prosser. Omak will host Chelan at 5:45. The 6 o'clock games have Brewster at Lake Roosevelt. Soap Lake entertains Manson. Orville visits Curlew, and Moses Lake Christian plays at Wilson Creek. The boys' schedule: Waterville Mansfield plays at Moses Lake Christian at 6. Wenatchee will host Moses Lake at 7. Ephrata is at Prosser. Omak entertains Chelan at 7:15. Brewster is at Lake Roosevelt tonight in boys basketball, and Manson is in Soap Lake. We are going to be, as a matter of fact, got the doubleheader tonight at the Wenatchee High School gym. Moses Lake is in town. Grant Olson with the call. The girls will be live streamed at 5:30. The boys to follow at 7 on both the live stream and on TV. All right, to Saturday we go. The girls basketball schedule: Brewster at Quincy at 3:30. Okanagan will host Colville. Wenatchee plays at Eastmont at 4:30. Moses Lake is back home against Sunnyside, and Orville will visit Republic. Other girls' games tomorrow: Antioch plays at Moses Lake Christian. Omak visits Lake Roosevelt, and the Tenasket girls are at Warden. Boys' schedule: early start, 1:30 for Liberty Boy. Their boys will be taking home Granite Falls. Brewster visits Quincy at 5. Colville's at Okanagan. Eastmont hosts Wenatchee at 6. Sunnyside visits Moses Lake. Republic will host Orville. Antioch takes on Moses Lake Christian at 6:15. At 7:30 tomorrow night, Omak at Lake Roosevelt, and Warden hosts Tenasket. And yes, we will be at the Eastmont Gymnasium for both the girls and the boys games tomorrow. Wildcats and Panthers. Eric with the call. Courtside girls game tips off at 4:30. The boys to follow 20 minutes after. Basketball gyms will be very busy in the Wenatchee Valley this weekend. Besides all those high school games I just talked about, 7 gymnasiums in Wenatchee and East Wenatchee will be the host sites for the Winter Magic AAU tournament. The tournament organizer, our friend Ron Stone, says 68 teams are registered to play today, tomorrow, and Sunday. That means 680 players are in town, plus their families. So let's be a good host. All right, finally, Saturday prep wrestling tournaments throughout Washington. They're going everywhere. Eastmont will be in Yakima tomorrow at 9 a.m. It's the Cadet Classic at Eisenhower High School. Moses Lake wrestlers travel to North Idaho College. That tournament begins tomorrow morning at 9. The annual Cashmere Invite starts at 10 and features a lot of schools, including Cascade, Chelan, Manson, Omak, and Quincy. And Brewster, Ephrata, Lake Roosevelt, Libertyville, Okanagan, Tenasket, and a lot of other wrestling schools will be participating in the Oroville Invite tomorrow. And finally, the Wenatchee Wild. 2 more games on the schedule before they take an extended holiday break. They are hoping for a packed house tonight. It's ugly sweater tonight. The Western Conference leading Prince George Cougars are in town. We're trying to chase them down, folks. 7 o'clock tonight, and the Wild welcome the Everett Silvertips to the Town Toyota Center Sunday at 4. WenatcheeWildHockey.com for tickets, and those are just some of the games that people are playing on this 15th day of December. If you want to celebrate National Cupcake Day, you may do so. It's also National Wear Your Pearls Day. I don't have any pearls. But today we celebrate the underdog. The third Friday of every December is Underdog Day. It was also one of my favorite cartoons growing up. Underdog, this shoeshine boy who would become underdog, save pure Polly purebred from all the bad guys. I love that cartoon, Underdog. So cheer up. Everybody loves an underdog. When we think of underdogs, I think most of the time we think of sports, tremendous sports upsets that captured the imagination. The 1980 Miracle on Ice, I remember that like it was yesterday. The Pittsburgh Pirates defeating my heavily favored New York Yankees in the 1960 World Series. The Giants beating the Patriots to kill their perfect undefeated season. Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson in Tokyo in February of 1990, which won me a lot of money. And the movie The Boys in the Boat, about the 1936 Washington rowing team that took gold in Berlin at the Olympics. That movie opens, I believe, on Christmas Day. The Underdog. Underdog. 31 minutes after the hour. Today in history, happy birthday to that document. About the most important document you can think of, the Bill of Rights. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution go into the Constitution officially. Virginia ratified it. The necessary 3/4 states. The Bill of Rights became a reality on this date in 1791. George Washington had 14 handwritten copies of the Bill of Rights made, one for Congress to keep and the other 13 going to the original 13 states. Georgia, Maryland, New York, and Pennsylvania, their copies disappeared. New York's was thought to have lost in a fire. Georgia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania, they don't know exactly, but 2 unidentified copies, thought to be the copy that belonged to Georgia and the copy that belonged to Maryland, but they're not 100% sure. Those 2 survive. One is in the National Archives, the other is in the New York Public Library. North Carolina's copy was stolen at the end of the Civil War by a Union soldier, and it was recovered after an FBI sting operation 20 years ago and was returned to North Carolina. The copy that went to Congress, as you might imagine, is on display at the National Archives. Happy birthday to the Bill of Rights. 84 years ago today, Gone with the Wind receives its world premiere in the town where it takes place in, at Lowe's Theater in Atlanta, Georgia. This is Atlanta, Georgia in 1939. And even though there were a lot of African-American stars in Gone with the Wind, they were barred from attending the premiere. Now, when you adjust for inflation, it's still the highest grossing movie ever made. If you'd say, okay, what about just ticket sales? People who actually bought tickets. What if you use that as your measuring tape for the most popular movie? By far, it's Gone with the Wind. It's not even close. It's sold more tickets than any movie in history. 10 years after its premiere in 1939, it was estimated that half of all Americans had seen the movie Gone with the Wind. 3 years after it premiered, the producer, David L. Selznick, had tax trouble, so he sold his ownership right to Gone with the Wind. He sold it for $500,000 to his business partner. His business partner turned around and sold the rights to MGM for $3 million, so he pocketed a pretty good profit there. And in November of 1976, NBC paid an unheard of $5 million to air the movie Gone with the Wind in November of 1976. It's a long movie, so they aired it over 2 nights. At the time, it became the highest rated motion picture ever shown on television. I think everybody has seen Gone with the Wind at least once. It has not aged well, though. Has some scenes there that make you cringe. And finally, it was the championship of the Volunteer Classic in Knoxville, Tennessee. The Temple Owls and the Tennessee Volunteers for the big men's college basketball game. And the final score, Tennessee 11, Temple 6. This is a men's college basketball game. The final score was 11-6. No shot clock. Tennessee would score, Temple would inbound, they would go down to their end of the court and just hold on to the ball for 5 or 10 minutes at a time. 11-6 was the final. Tennessee's coach was so mad at Temple that after the game, they stayed behind and they did a inter-squad scrimmage for the 11,000 people who showed up to watch a men's college basketball game where 17 total points were scored. And finally, birthdays at 35 minutes after the hour. If you're poor and you're eccentric, you're just eccentric. When you're rich and eccentric, you're really eccentric. And this is J. Paul Getty, one of the richest men who ever lived. He discovered there might be oil in other places besides the United States, for instance, the Middle East. And he leased out oil drilling rights to the Mideast countries and made a bazillion dollars. When his son was kidnapped, in 1973, the kidnappers demanded $17 million in ransom. J. Paul Getty could probably find $17 million in his couch cushions. He refused. He eventually paid $3 million, and his son was released about 6 months later. He did his own laundry, and he did it by hand in his sink because he didn't want to pay to have his laundry done. And if you were an overnight guest at his mansion and he wanted to make a phone call, you had to use a payphone. He installed a payphone for all lines that went outside his mansion. J. Paul Getty, born in the state in 1892. Who does Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Aretha Franklin, Count Basie, Billie Holiday, Pete Seeger, George Benson, and Stevie Ray Vaughan, what do they all have in common? They were all discovered and signed by what has to be the greatest talent scout in music history, John Hammond, who ran the talent scout department of Columbia Records forever. That's amazing. Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Aretha Franklin, Billie Holiday, Count Basie, Pete Seeger, Stevie Ray Vaughan, George Benson. Way to go, John. He was the recipient of the first ever Lifetime Achievement Award at the first Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And speaking of somebody who was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the very first year in the non-performer category, the man who coined the term rock and roll, probably the most famous radio disc jockey of all time, Alan Freed, was born on this date. We lost Alan a long time ago. Thank you to Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsor. And I'm told that platinum is a very precious metal, so that must have cost them a fortune. I don't know. Alpine Air, for heat and air, call Alpine Air. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Mike McKnight's got an opinion coming up, and then a friendly reminder from our friend Beth Stipe. It's that time of the year again. The Give NCW campaign is underway. Beth will join me when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs. Bobfile Boats and Motors is your local Yamaha headquarters. For more than 30 years, Yamaha outboards have delivered far more than superior power, performance, and efficiency. Yamaha owners get something that can't be measured in horsepower or RPM: legendary Yamaha reliability. Find the Yamaha outboard that fits your life at Bobfile Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, you've heard people say, and maybe you've said it yourself, that I feel like I have to walk around eggshells around them. Meaning, of course, that we're trying to moderate our own behavior in hopes that we don't make someone else mad or abusive. Well, if you feel like you're walking on eggshells around someone, don't bother. See, the reality is, if your partner or your friend is going to get mad or abusive, that's their problem. And no matter what you do, they're going to find an excuse to act out and then blame you for their behavior. Now, seriously, if this is what's going on in your relationship, it may be time to stop worrying about what you're doing and instead start questioning the nature of the relationship itself. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new mid-size Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Well, looks like our surgery patient is feeling better today.
Yep, I didn't need any oxy today. I thought I'd do a little surgery on the drain.
Huh. Do you need your pain pills anymore?
No.
Well, we should get them out of the house. There are places to drop them off.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I can do that right now.
And I will look at the drain.
Prevent opioid misuse. Find safe medication return options near you at med-project.org.
Embrace the season of giving at Boswell's. Donate $50 or more to charity and get $200 off any stressless recliner with power, any stressless recliner and ottoman, or any stressless home office chair. Or get $200 off each stressless sofa seat, or $400 off all stressless Mayfair recliners and ottomans in all Paloma leather colors. Shop Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
Welcome back to the program. Sometime in the mid-'80s, I want to say, a bunch of civic-minded folks got together, wrote a big fat check, started the seed money for what would become the Community Foundation in North Central Washington. Now here it is, almost 40 years later. It's going great guns. Every year at this time, we bring in Beth Stipe, the Executive Director of the Community Foundation in North Central Washington. Give her a big hand with our studio audience, which we don't have. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Dan.
What's cooking?
Not much.
Let's, real quick, because Thanksgiving is getting further and further into the rearview mirror. You tried a turkey trot this year.
I did.
Just to see, you threw the spaghetti up against the wall.
Right.
And it stuck.
Yeah, well,
Talk about that.
we've been talking about for years now with our kickoffs to our Give campaigns, both in the Metro Valley and here in North Central Washington, of doing something that's really community-based to really highlight the breadth of the nonprofits and the opportunity for everyone to give to these campaigns. And so the wonderful Denise Sorum in our office this year said, hey, let's give the turkey trot a try. It hasn't been around since before COVID times, so it's been a few years, and let's just see if anybody shows up. And boy, oh boy, did they show up.
A few people showed up.
A few people showed up.
1,500 people
yeah,
showed
a
up.
lot.
Dressed in costumes.
Dressed in costumes. We had dogs, we had kids, we had strollers, we had turkeys on the run. It was really fun.
This had been done before by other organizations in different locations in the Wenatchee Valley. It kind of, again, COVID did a real number on a lot of things. It kind of just sort of petered out. I'm glad it's back, but this was an unexpected success.
It was. We were hoping that, we would have 500 to 700 runners, and by the time that the Thanksgiving morning came around, there were 1,400 that had registered, and we're pretty certain that even more than that showed up. And when you looked out across the runners as they lined up to do their thing, the runners and the walkers, it was just this beautiful sea of people. And of course, we live in a beautiful valley, and so it was such a picturesque and wonderful morning, and families came, and it was just really great.
When the registration started coming fast and furious, did you folks around the office went, oh crap.
Pretty much.
What are we going to do now?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it wasn't perfect. We learned a few things, and so next year we're sure that it's going to be even better. And we'd love to, you know, because you have such a huge audience, thank Wenatchee Valley Medical Group because they stepped up and helped us both with sponsorship as well as volunteers to help man the stations and water spots and that type of thing. And Cafe Mela brought coffee, which was great.
And the weather was perfect.
The weather was so perfect. It was just really, really a beautiful
so
morning.
that was a fundraiser. You got some
so all of the funds outside of expenses are going to the Give to All bucket, which is part of all of our Give campaigns, where if you can't decide between all of the wonderful nonprofits that are on the catalog, you can give to all, and at the end of the campaign we share those equally among all of the nonprofits on the campaign.
Well, let's go ahead and transition to the Give NCW campaign, which is done every year at this time, starts Thanksgiving, goes through the end of the year.
Correct.
So even after Christmas, you can donate. Two ways to go about doing it. You go to Beth's website and you'll click on click on the Give NCW campaign button, and you'll see the Give to All, which is when you just give her foundation money, and you guys decide how to split it up.
It's split between all of the nonprofits on the catalog.
And there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
Or you can give directly to that nonprofit, which is a super great idea.
Yes.
It's kind of a conduit. It's like a one-stop shopping.
Yeah, we actually had a donor that came in yesterday, and he brought a list with him. He had gone through we have this lovely little holiday gift guide. You can also find it on our website. And so he had gone through and he had looked around and he brought his list in of 14 different organizations, and so we helped him just spread it out amongst those. And the great thing is that if you give online, the software allows you the opportunity to pay the credit card fee, but if you choose not to do that, we actually have donors who step up and take care of those credit card fees, so that every dollar that has been pledged to a nonprofit goes to that nonprofit.
Now, the nonprofit organizations, and when you go to the website, you're going to see them all. You're going to recognize all of them, I guarantee you, and there's a bunch of them. These are all vetted through your organization. So talk about that process. Who gets the golden ticket to get on your website?
Well, this is open to any not-for-profit organization that has ever received a grant from our competitive grant-making program, which how that works is that nonprofits will apply to us. They fill out an application. Our board of trustees, which is a 28-member board of volunteers from throughout North Central Washington, they go and they visit each and every single one of those. And this year we actually are almost done with the final regional impact grant cycle, and there were 80 applications. Normally we get about 60 a year, so they've been really busy running around North Central Washington visiting with really great organizations.
It's tough decisions to make, because you want to give everybody all the money that they could possibly use to continue the good work. You can't do it, but it's still, I've served on various committees that had to go out and vet fundraisers and vet nonprofits and say, well, we'd like 4,000. We say we can give you 400.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do, but it still needs to be done.
Absolutely. And you know, it's some organizations may be new and they're just learning, and so maybe they're not quite ready yet. But we always make sure that there are opportunities moving forward. We have several different grant cycles that nonprofits and grant programs that nonprofits can apply for through the foundation, and so you can check out all of those on our website.
And you guys doled out a lot of dough in the last fiscal year, didn't you? Scholarships and I mean, I don't know how you get track of it all.
Millions and millions of dollars, yeah. So scholarships alone last year were $1.3 million.
When you took over 20 some odd years ago now? How long
20 years.
Is this like, this is insane? You never thought 2 decades later you're this big and this successful as an organization?
Well, we certainly hope that that was the case. And, you know, one of the things I think that's just so awesome is that we live in a really generous place. And people here really do care about the nonprofit organizations, the people who live here. And, you know, the community foundations set up to be that conduit to ensure that there are charitable dollars for future generations, and I think that really resonates with people here. We have families who have been here for multiple generations, and they've left legacy gifts that are going to enable future generations to benefit from their generosity, and I think that that's a great thing.
It's again, the Give NCW is an online fundraising campaign. You go to Beth's website. If you click on the icon, it shows up. You have the give to all, give one, give to all, and there's some cool stuff in there. The minimum donation is $10, and that's a great deal. Fun Day Mondays is
Fun Day
still happening.
Mondays.
Okay.
Oh yes. Oh, we can never get rid of Fun Day Mondays. That's like the most popular day. It's really fun. You know, online they have all of these really great tools like Google Analytics, and we can look and see, you know, what the rate of donations are. And the way that the charts go, Mondays are like this. And so it's just really a lot of fun. And actually, after I leave here visiting with you today, I'm going to draw the very first winner of the first Fun Day Monday. So
yeah, we probably should explain to people what the hell we're talking about,
yeah,
what
right.
Fun Day Monday really is.
So Fun Day Monday is where anyone who makes a donation and checks out on a Monday gets entered into a drawing where they can win $1,000 to give to any of the nonprofits or give to all on the campaign.
And once again, to stress this, when you do the give to all, everybody who's on that list gets a percentage of whatever you gave.
An equal amount.
So and there's how many on your page right now?
81.
So if you give $81,
everybody gets $1.
Everybody gets $1.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed what that can do.
Absolutely. And it adds up. And we actually have the trustees at the foundation have put in a $50,000 matching goal. So every dollar that comes into the Give to All gets matched up to $50,000. So that could be pretty incredible for a lot of organizations.
And it should be pointed out that the 28-member board, all of them are great people, long-time some scions of this community and some newcomers. There's a great mixture of people. That's part of being on that group, on the committee, the board that runs that is Beth's boss, so to speak.
Yep.
You give money to get on the board. I mean, you do. That's part of the deal. That's expected to it.
And I'm so lucky. I have a really great board. They're just awesome leaders, and we're really fortunate.
So you guys have made some about doling out the money. This is something you did as a kind of a pilot project with the folks up in the Methow Valley. You're now going to expand it for your entire organization.
We are. There have been some really big changes at the foundation this year, and it all came from. We typically have a 5-year strategic plan, and at the end of our fiscal year 2021, which was June 30 of 2021. Which incorporated COVID. We finished our strategic plan and met our goals, and so the board was ready to launch back in and create the next phase of that. And so COVID came and we had to put a halt to that. So we regrouped back in 2021, and we came up with 4 really amazing strategic initiatives, and we took 2 years to really explore those ideas.
You didn't rush into it.
We didn't. We don't rush into anything in the foundation.
Probably a good idea.
We're pretty methodical about when we make changes, and so one of those was to really localize our grant making process. And so we've, like you said, we've been doing this work with the Methow Valley Fund for the last decade. So we've figured out, kind of what works and some best practices around giving local people in their communities control over how to distribute the grant dollars that are available. So we'll be launching that. This is our final regional impact grant program that will end in December of this year. So next month, Friday, I guess is that.
Well, it makes perfect sense. I mean, if you live and work in our in the Chelan community, for instance, you're going to have a better knowledge of the nonprofits in the Chelan area that could benefit from what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and we have trustees that are in all of these communities, but we really feel like that we can really engage and bring in more people to this work, and it's pretty exciting to get to give money into your local community. And so in the first quarter of 2024, we'll be introducing this process and what it's going to look like. We'll be asking for people who might be interested in participating through a recommendation or a application process. And so all of that information will be coming in the first quarter of 2024.
It's always good to see you, by the way. Anything else that we need to touch? I really wanted to talk about that reorganization, which I think is a great idea. And of course, the community-based volunteers in each community are volunteers.
Correct.
That's, but nobody's getting paid here, and believe me, Beth ain't getting a lot of money either. For running her fine organization. Did we get everything covered? Did we get everything?
We did. The only thing I would mention is it's also scholarship time.
Please. Yeah.
Yes. So
there's so many scholarships out there, and it's a morass of paperwork. And I talked to counselors at the high schools, and even there are the kids. A lot of the kids, juniors and seniors in high school, there's money out there. They haven't got a clue how to get at it.
And that's one of the things we'd love for your audience to help us get to the parents of these students. And so there are not only scholarship dollars for graduating students from high school, but there's also scholarship dollars for people who are going back to school. And the way that our system works, it's really great. We have over 130 different scholarships. They all have different criteria, but all you have to do is go online, you set up an account, you answer a handful of questions, and then the system automatically tells you which scholarships you would qualify for. You fill out one application and it automatically applies for you. And so it's a really great way to fill out one application and get access to potentially multiple scholarships.
And there are scholarships out there for people who just either just out of high school and they want to go to college, they want to continue their higher education. They don't know what they want to do yet. They haven't got a career picked out, but they want to keep learning things and they don't have any money to do it. Believe it or not, there are just scholarships out there that don't get you into the morass of student loans or anything. Right. Just to get you, just to keep the momentum going.
We have lots of scholarships for trade programs as well as allied health. So a great partnership with the Wenatchee Valley College. They have a lot of great programs that you can access here locally and have some support to go with it.
Yeah, just keep learning. I mean, I'm 59 and I'm still learning something new every day.
I'll tell you what, Dan, run a turkey trot. You'll learn a lot of stuff.
If anybody ever sees me running, that means somebody's chasing me. That's what that means. CFNCW.org. Type in Community Foundation or something. It'll autofill. Go to the Give NCW campaign. Here's an idea. Here's an idea. We'll close with this. Go to the Give to Everybody Now button. Click on Give. Everybody gets an even share. Donate $81 million.
We'll be done.
Every nonprofit gets $1 million.
That'd be great.
I think we started something.
Good deal. Thank you,
Beth.
Thanks
so
for,
it's good.
thanks
Don't
for
be a
doing
stranger.
that.
Come back anytime you want.
Well, you got to invite me.
Yeah. Well, she answered her own phone when I called her. It was like, I'm going to have to go through a switchboard.
Nope.
Hi, this is Beth. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. Beth Stipe, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Give it up, and we will be right back.
Lose yourself in the magic of the most wonderful time of the year at Cirque Dreams Holidays. This electrifying stage production has captured the imagination of audiences throughout the country. Delight in the holiday season as the world's finest circus artists perform alongside a cast of lovable holiday characters. Sprinkled with high-energy dance numbers and festive holiday music, it's the perfect gift for the entire family.
Imagine a science project being done on the kitchen table. Feel the excitement on Christmas morning as the kids race down the stairs to form memories that cannot be erased. Listen for the laughter coming from the next room. Put your family in a new home to make these visions become reality with Coldwell Banker Cascade. Use the Move meter entering 2 cities and see how a potential move scores based on the cost of living and other factors. Make your dream place a reality with Coldwell Banker Cascade today.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
And we are back at it. Not a bad morning, all things considered. In fact, we're going to see old Mr. Sun for a little bit today. Don't get used to it. This is not going to last particularly long. We're still at 36 degrees, and our forecast high this afternoon is 38. And all of the temperatures you're going to see when we get to the forecast, all of them, at least the daytime highs, are going to be warmer than normal. And I did a little research earlier in the day today about this whole strong El Nino year they've been talking about. We haven't had one for like 8 years, and boy, it certainly looks like it's panning out to be that way. We're not going to have a white Christmas, folks. I can pretty much guarantee you that. Now, again, there are some locations that have quite a bit of snow still on the ground that probably won't melt by the time we get to Christmas Day. We'll have to wait and see. I'm talking like Lake Wenatchee and Plain, perhaps Leavenworth, but here in the Wenatchee Valley, no white Christmas in our forecast from the National Weather Service. Under the influence of a ridge of high pressure today will bring us a few sun breaks. We'll top off at about 38. Clouds return with a vengeance tonight, 30 for the overnight low, and then we go back to what we've had for almost this whole week. Clouds and fog. And a high of 37 on Saturday, clouds and fog, 29 for the overnight low Saturday night, Sunday, clouds and fog with some sun breaks. High near 36. And then that ridge of high pressure will move out on Monday, which brings unsettled but warm weather as we head into Christmas week. And that is it for us. Have yourself a great weekend. Start next week with us. Until then, bye-bye.
Greetings, North Central Washington. Welcome to Network TV. I'm your host, Jenny Rojanasatian, Executive Director of NCW Tech Alliance, and I'm so delighted to have you join us today. At NCW Tech Alliance, we are passionate about fostering innovation, collaboration, and growth in our community. Our mission is to drive the advancement of technology and support the development of a thriving tech ecosystem in North Central Washington by supporting technology, entrepreneurship, and STEM education initiatives. Today, I'm welcoming back two of our previous guests, Dr. Sue Kane